Listen, Bayern Munich, yeah, they're flying in the Bundesliga at the moment, but there's still question marks around them in every big game. And we just saw them scrape through against Celtic in the Champions League in the last minute. Can I even say it's a goal? Like, Alphonso Davies tackled the ball into the net. Are you convinced by Bayern Munich under Company?
I'm not convinced, and I've made it a point this year to really watch Bayern Munich, especially in the bigger games that they played, because I remember the first group game, who was it they beat like by 9 goals or something like that, and people were going really overboard. But I thought to myself, as long as I've been watching football, Bayern in the Champions League group stage against these minnows always beat up on them. That doesn't really tell me what kind of team you are. If you're a Bayern Munich manager not beating these small teams, I'm looking at you different. I really want to look at Vincent Kompany, how he fared against who I consider like the elite tacticians in Europe, and that was against Aston Villa, against Unai Emery, it was against Xabi Alonso of Bayer Leverkusen, and it was against Hansi Flick at Barcelona. And I thought in all 3 of those games, his team massively flattered the deceive. And a lot of people will look at those games and say, well, look at the possession that they had. And in fact, they drew a few of those games. But if you actually watch the way his teams are going about these games, it's very methodical. It's very slow. It's very, in my opinion, predictable. And you often kind of just watch Bayern pass it side to side to side. And they do have brilliant players. It's a very top team. You look at Olise, Musiala, Harry Kane. These are players that you would consider the best in the world. But I don't feel like they're really playing like that. And yes, they are winning the Bundesliga as things stand. They are into the next round of the Champions League. But I think if you were to ask Bayern Munich fans, are they happy with the way the season is going? I think they feel a little underwhelmed. And personally, that's the feeling I've gotten. I don't think he's getting the best out of this group yet.
One thing about Bayern Munich in the Champions League, I feel, is that they're destructive. You always just think you don't want to run into Bayern Munich because there's just something about them. They destroy teams in a proper German way of doing it. And now I'm looking at this team and I don't really see that level of if you catch them on the wrong night, you can get battered. I actually think a lot of these so-called top teams in Europe, I think if they draw Bayern Munich, they'll be fairly confident that they'll win. And that's damning statement on what's going on at Bayern Munich at the moment.
100%. There was a time in Europe, I remember, where unless you were Real Madrid and Barcelona, those were the only teams where you felt they could do something to Bayern Munich. And even in those games, they produced some of the best clashes of quality that we've seen. Like Real and Bayern, I know Real won most of the time, but they were real displays of quality from both sides. And these days, when I watch Bayern Munich, I don't feel that anymore. Like I've seen Aston Villa now host them, and I thought they were the better team. I thought they were deserving winners. Barcelona, for me, they took care of business with them lately. And I think if they draw a PSG, if they're even to draw Arsenal, who have basically been their whipping boys for the longest time, I would actually favor Arsenal this season.